Next up, we have Sommarfågel by Wintergatan, tracks 1 out of 9. This is featured in Adventure Forward 2, that's a Roblox game, Dance of Fire and Ice, and a few others is my understanding. Once again, everybody, this is a Basterd's LFA, a layman-friendly analysis. I'm a professionally trained musician and composer, and my objective here is to explain things in a way so that you don't have to be one to understand what is happening here, musically. So, if you like the sound of that, make sure you're following the channel, subscribe to the channel, whatever channel you use, like the video, share the video, comment, turn on notifications, become a member. Once again, everybody, don't forget to join the Discord server, subscribe to the gaming channel, how to request songs if you're not on the live stream, members getting early access to the content. I have a spiel for this and a bunch of other things at the end of this video, so stick around for that. Disclaimers showing on your screen right now, so go ahead and pause the video to read them in full. Otherwise, please be patient with me. I am acoustic and guitared, so please keep that in mind. With that, let's do this. Sommarfågel by Wintergatan. Let's go. Okay, so we start with most likely one of these machines, Wintergatan. This is a very, very insanely talented artist who makes these automated music machines. Basically, you have, like the most famous one that Wintergatan has is the Pebble machine, like the metal balls machine that basically plays a bunch of instruments. Shan, welcome today. I'm doing all right, like a solid 9 today. And Lithrath, welcome today. How you doing? Depressive suicidal black metal? Huh. Didn't know that was a genre. So we're having that, and we're using some sort of machine with this one. This machine is giving us an initial arpeggio, and this arpeggio contains our initial motif. So an arpeggio, of course, being when you play a chord one note at a time. For example, here is C minor. Here's arpeggiated. So what we are doing over here is we are doing some arpeggios with some what is called voice leading. Voice leading is basically a way to make moving between chords more efficient. So again, this contains our initial motif. Motif being the smallest version of your musical idea, the seed, the essence from which everything else comes from. Voice leading is, as I said, you move from one chord to another a lot more efficiently than you otherwise would, is to make the least amount of movement to move between chords. So let's bring, for example, the scale of C major, C, D, E, F, G, A, and B. B, then back to C. Let me just go ahead and copy, paste. There we go. So let's say we have a chord over here, and Oh, okay, Valid is just talking about me, I didn't tag me. Okay, so we're having this over here, and the way it works is that, you're gonna have different chords, and just for the sake of simplicity, the different chords you can get, you take one note, then you skip a note, you add another note, skip another note, and you add another note, and you get your triads. So C, E, G, that is going to be C major, then D, F, A, that's going to be your next chord, then you have all the other chords that come from that. So the way voice leading works is that you're going to take what is called a chord progression, which is just the order of the chords as you are doing them, and you are going to change how efficiently you're going to move between the chords. So usually a chord progression is represented by Roman numerals. If you don't know how to read numerals, it is the ones that are done by what we would call just plain letters. We have this. There is then a variation within classical music, which is uppercase Roman numerals means it's a major chord. Lowercase Roman numerals means it's a minor chord. Now, major and minor. Major sounds brighter, a little bit more hopeful. Minor sounds a little bit more somber, a little bit more dark. So we're having those, and the way it works is that depending on which chord you have in the scale, like each scale will give you a specific combination of notes, structurally speaking, and then the different chords that you can get, you are gonna have this kind of thing, right? So, for example, in a scale of major, any major scale, no matter which scale you have, this is going to be the possible chords that you have. So you're gonna have 1 major, 2 minor, 3 minor, 4 major, 5 major, 6 minor, and 7th diminished. Diminished, it sounds a little bit unstable. it is this kind of sound that you get. And no matter which key signature, no matter which scale, which note you start your major scale from, as long as it is a natural major scale, plain as day, these are the possible chords that you can get. So out of these, you can get your chord progression. Let's take the chord progression of, let's do one of the most popular one, 1, 6, 2, 2, and 5. That is going to be the first chord, the 6th chord, the 2nd chord, and then the 5th chord. So, and yeah, diatonic chords, these are all diatonic chords. Like, diatonic just means that it's the notes that you get with this scale that you're using. After that, you can get, yeah, it gets more complicated after that, but let's not get into that right now. So the way it works is that number 1 is going to be C. As I said, you skip one note for the chords, right? So C, skip D, E, skip F, G. That is going to be your C major chord. Then we are going to have number 6. So these are going to be counted. You can also count them as regular numbers. C1, D2, E3, F4, G5, A6. A, we're going to do the same thing. A, skip a note, then skip B, now C, skip D, now E. So A, C, and E is going to be our chord of A minor. Then we do the same with D. D, skip E, F, skip G, A. Now we have D minor. And then 5, G, we're going to have G, skip A, B, skip C, D. This is our chord progression. And if you play it normally, you're going to have C, then you're going to have A, then you have D, and then you have G. So as you can probably see, especially if I move the keyboard over here, here's C, here's A, here's D, here is G, and it's not the most efficient. You're moving the hand around a lot unless you engage in voice leading. Once you engage in voice leading, what you're gonna do is that you're gonna find the common denominators amongst the chords that you are playing and then just keep them there. For example, C major, C, E, and G. A minor, A, C, and E. C and E are common denominators when it comes between C and A. So what we can do for voice leading, we are already playing C over here, we can keep it here. We're already playing E over here, we can keep it here. Which now means we no longer need to play them up here. We get the same notes, which is the same chord, and now we go from doing this to doing this. Same chord, same harmonic function, but now we are saving ourselves a lot of trouble. We do the same thing. So, for example, from A here in this, by the way, these are called inversions. When you flip the notes around in a chord so that the lowest note is different than the highest note, these are called inversions. So we move these from A to D, we already have A. We can move C up to D, E up to F. Now we now have D covered. Then we have G, B, and D. We already have D over here. We no longer need to play it over here. And now we bring it over here, and we can even keep the F note over here playing as well, so that we can get that 5-7 chord, which just means it's the dominant version of the chord. So now instead of going, let me bring the keyboard back so you can visualize it. So instead of going here to here to here to here, now we can just do, and then we have this, and now. So we're having that. Is it helping a lot? Nice. Music and attention, extra points. Go to your name. Nice. So, if we then do this arpeggiated, we can end up with some of the melodic things that we were having. So we can now go back and forth, right? No. So we're having that, we're bringing in these shapes, doing some voice leading, and this is how we are building the melodies that we're having, and basically we're just going back and forth between the chords, right? We're doing something like that, right? So we're using that. Let's see where this goes. And of course, we're using this music box for this. Beautiful chimes. Okay, so we bring in our drums, our bass. We bring a second chime over here. I think we're playing maybe a kalimba? Maybe a kalimba. Like, it sounds like it's some variation of the kalimba. Could be a xylophone as well. We bring these, and this was performed live. I think we had a video of a live performance, which was very loud, very, very loud. Is that piano playing octaves? Maybe. It's very, very common for the piano to play in octaves. So we are continuing the sound. We are bringing in a new version of the material. And John Blood, welcome today, man. It's good to see you. Music box is always good to sound. Yeah, it's good to see you, man. How's it been? It's good to see you, man. By the way, John Blood is another fellow ancient one. He was one of the first 100 of this channel. He got to see Beardless James. So live. He got to see him live, right? So we're having this going on, and now that we have the bass and the piano doing what is called a doubling of the bass. Doubling is when you have more than one instrument doing the same thing at the same time. We are now taking the voice leading that we had, and we are now adding a bass to it so that it reflects more accurately the bass line that we were making. Because one of the issues of voice leading that we were doing over here is that the bass, the lowest note, might not fully reflect what the chord progression is doing. But once we take a bass line, we add this one over here, now we can continue. Now we have the full chord with the bass in there, and we no longer have to worry about whether or not we are fulfilling the full functionality of this. Children gathered of uni, James, I know, right? So we're having that happen, and variations, mainly rhythmic variations of the motif. Let's see where this goes. And the other chime, the other music box that we are getting, what it is doing is having a two-part chord where we first play the bass and then we play the rest of the chord. That kind of thing, right? So we're having that, of course, a lot higher, and maybe not the full chord, like maybe just, and then something like that, right? Like we are just moving the different notes around. Basically just playing the chords a little bit slower. Let's see where this goes. Ooh. New drums, electronic drums. There's another synth in the background holding the chords down as well. Like it's just holding down the full chords. It's beautiful. Weird, thank you. Do it myself. Alright. Get a build up and okay, so we switch over. We don't really do a beat drop the way that you would usually see them. We switch now to some analog physical drums. Like this seems like it was recorded with a like an analog drum set, and we bring in the melody and we switch around the rhythm that the drums are playing, giving us this very progressive sounding rhythm. There is a genre of music which is progressive music, or prog for short. Prog music tends to be, you know, very sounds unpredictable, sounds sometimes even unstable. It's usually very, very interesting intellectual exercises of what music can sound like. Like one of the subgenres of it would be something like math rock, where it's a lot of music theory, very heavily applied. And DJ Bustan, thank you for the follow, welcome to the Marshmallow today. Very unorthodox in many ways, and it's basically just exploring the music in very extreme ways. Now, this can backfire very easily because the more you go looking for these intellectual experiments, the more likely you are to intellectualize music so much that you stop making it. So it's a very difficult balance to achieve. So what we are doing right now that is proggy is that we are bringing prog drums. Dream Theater is one. Dream Theater is absolutely a prog band. Haken is another prog band. We have, wow, there's so many. Stratovarius is power metal. Stratovarius is power metal, not prog. Dream Theater, Haken, those are the first two that I can think of. I can't think of too many others right now. Gent tends to have a lot of prog elements to it, so it has a lot of that. But in general, the idea is that you are thinking outside the box as a rule. So we're having this kind of stuff, and basically we are bringing much better. Oh, good, Frenzy, good. Glad to see that. Gent is not a genre. That is correct. Gent is not a genre. Gent is heresy. Anyway, so we are. Okay, so it's funny guitar technique. No, it is as much of a genre as folk metal is a genre. So you can't, like, if enough people believe it's a genre, it's a genre. Nosh, welcome today. How you doing? So it's usually very acquired taste. It's usually an acquired taste. So it can be difficult to get into. But right now, what we are doing is that we are taking a prog approach to the rhythm, to the drums. So when you're making music, you're doing, you have three components: melody, harmony, and rhythm. How you doing, Nosh? It's good to see you. Happy Easter. Happy Easter, everybody. Today, this is recorded during Easter. So, melody, the individual horizontal lines of music, counterpoint, that kind of stuff. Melody, harmony, that's the most complicated one. What notes you have, what scales you get out of that, what chords you can get out of that, the relationship between them, the relationship between relationships, and you can just keep extrapolating, right? It can get really complicated, right? And then, Happy Resurrection Day, yes, Happy Easter, Felices Pascuas de Resurrección is how we say it in Spanish. And then you have rhythm. Rhythm being the use of time. When things happen, how fast, how slow, placement, that kind of stuff. Rhythm is then determined by it is then subdivided into bars or measures. All of these, happy birthday. No, my birthday was last week. So, measures being, it's Easter out there. Yeah, it's Easter weekend over here. Like, we get a long weekend over here, and on top of that, I have a week off. Bars or measures, which are then determined by a time signature plus a tempo mark. So let's focus on the time signature aspect, because that's what I'm talking about over here, right? Trust me, I'm weaving into this. So time signatures are then determined by two numbers: upper number, lower number. Upper number is going to be the number of beats that you're going to have in your measure. Lower number is the kind of beats that you're going to be having in the measure, and this is what you're going to count your metronome with. So, didn't know that was a thing. Easter? You mean in Europe, where Christianity boomed first? Anyway, so we're having, in American English, it's pretty easy to remember. Whole notes represented by number 1, half notes represented by number 2, quarter notes by number 4, eighth notes by number 8, 16th notes by number 16, so on and so forth. So your Easter ended yesterday? Yeah, that is true. Like over here, at least in Hungary, it's Friday and Monday. So yeah, like Easter Sunday was yesterday, but yeah. Wait for the song that uses 41 over 17. I mean, technically it should be a variation of 16. Like, once you deviate outside of the, like, base 2 numbering system, it gets a lot more complicated, and it's one of those you start it's when you see a book that uses unnecessarily complicated language just because the author wants to feel like they're putting their degree to good use. So, got Monday, two extra days. Nice. And Friday, Saturday, Sunday free. Yeah, so yeah, for us it's this. So yeah, it's almost taboo to go outside of these. Like, it's basically, you see anything that it's outside of, like, the lower number is not 1, 2, 4, 8, 32, 64, 128 or further. The first thing that you're gonna think as a musician is, you pretentious, you snobby pretentious prick. Why can't you just why can't you just communicate normally? Because the whole point of music theory, the whole idea of it is communication. You want to communicate with your players as clearly and as concisely as you possibly can. So if you see somebody that is using unnecessarily complicated theory to describe stuff that could be done more simply, yeah, you're probably dealing with what I like to call a jazz hole. There are two types of jazz. There's jazz cats and there's jazz holes. Jazz cats are cool. Jazz cats are fun. They are a lot of fun to hang around with, and they're a lot of fun to interact with. Then you have the jazz holes. This is not limited to jazz. Then you have the jazz holes. That is the type of person that you just want the interaction to be done and over with. You cannot stand them because they believe that because they know a couple more chords than you, then they are somehow superior to you. That kind of thing. So, yes, that's that's how I do this. So yeah, 4/4, as I said, 4 quarter notes in your bar. So you're going to be counting in quarter notes any combination that you want, as long as it adds up to 4 quarter notes. One whole note contains 2 half notes. One half note contains 2 quarter notes. One quarter note, 2 eighth notes, etc., etc. So we're having this 4/4. That's 4 quarter notes. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's simple. And just masking as cool and color theory and hexadecimal math. I know, right? It's been so fun to be around college. I mean, there were a lot of jazz cats back at Berkeley. A lot of jazz cats. There were a few jazz holes. They were fewer and far between. My department, I was in the composition department. We were a lot fewer people, and there were a lot of jazz holes in there. There were a lot of I was a jazz hole for a while. So yeah, so the way that this is working is this. Then the bar that we are using over here in the current section that we're in is a 6/8 bar. Now, you see this little line I drew between the quarter notes and the eighth notes is because once you start eighth notes, you start subdividing the count. Because in 4/4, if I were to move this to 5/4, we just count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And that's it. 6/4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Simple as. But once you start getting into smaller measures, smaller tempo marks, and smaller subdivisions, usually these are going to be a little bit faster. So you're going to want to simplify how you count them. Usually 6/8 is counted as 2 groups of 3. So you're going to accent that a little bit so that it's not as even as it was in the 6/8. Because 6/8, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Very, very, very. You're a jazz trumpet player here. No, I like it. Well, there you go. The only 2 things about the months of March and April. Maybe Cicadas and Bochorno. Yes, Bochorno, not pleasant, and cicadas are awful. So, we're having, I love the pun with the jazz hole. Yes, unironically. So, we're having that, and once you move to 6/8, this is when it starts getting a little bit more dance-like. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So you can feel that way more fluid thing. 5 first example would being divided, usually being divided into 3, 4, 2, 4. Yeah, then you can do combinations like this, which is yes, and it's sticky. Yes, which is why like I have an AC for a reason, right? So. In this case, usually you would be counting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Very waltz-like, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. But that's not entirely what the drums are doing. Because usually what you would get from the drums is that you would get very lovely, very straightforward. That's not what the drums are doing. The drums are doing a way more complex way of capturing the 6/8. It's still there, but yeah. Do you dance? I'm not great. I'm not good at it, but kind of. Like, I'm not somebody who actively seeks to dance. I prefer to be the band that is playing. So, I prefer to be in the band that plays. I'm not good at dancing. Like, I'm horrible at dancing. I mean, it doesn't mean I won't. It's just that I suck at it. So I prefer to be in the instrumentals. So yeah, we're having this. You can dance alone in your room. That is That is lovely. That is lovely. Usually, I listen. Usually, I'm either playing or listening. So yeah. Anyway, let's see where we're going with this. So, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So you can really hear those drums. Really not have this, and on top of that, we are having the melody being done in groups. So 3. It's giving us this very cool overlapping polyrhythm to this whole thing. So a polyrhythm is when you have multiple rhythms playing at the same time, usually in contrast with one another, where the contrast is what makes it sound cool. For example, the most famous one is the 3 versus 2 polyrhythm, where you have one part doing 3s, one part doing 2s, 1, 2, 1, 2, and then the other one doing 3s, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, and then you pull them both together. So there you go. I mean, that's what doing dishes. I mean, I use music as a timer for things as well. Like, I listen to my favorite song while showering, because then I know that, that's my time limit for showering. That kind of thing. No, see, this was guilty feet. I got no rhythm, though it's easy to pretend, I'm not a fool. Oh, yeah, I'm horrible at dancing. Like, I know I'm not good at dancing. So yeah, we're having that going on, and you want to be an old Disney princess? Okay. Nosh? Honey, darling.
Hello there.
Phrasing, please. Because you're talking about old Disney princess. You're not talking about being an old Disney princess. Like, that's very different things, okay? You want an old school Disney princess. And call animals to do the dishes? We're gonna have robots do that soon enough. Anyway, let's see where this goes. Did it take the bait? Never do. Experimenting a little bit more with that rhythm. And we bring in an accordion. Okay, so we bring in a new rhythmic variation of the original motif. We bring in an accordion and the drums once again changing kind of stuff. You want a robot though? Okay. I want a robot to manage a hydroponic farm. Like, I would love to see one of those like the new AI robots that we're getting. See if it would be able to handle a basement hydroponic farm. Like, have that be its duty. So, yeah. It would be interesting. So, no, this is live cue, Artem says. Let's see. New rhythm from the drums. So right now, it is surprisingly straightforward how we are going through this. We are changing the way that the drums approach the time signature while still doing the time signature. We are just doing different drum beats, doing the same overall time signature. We are giving variations, rhythmic variations, on the motif that we have, doing the same thing. Let's see where this goes. Animals are cuter? They can be. Nice. And new rhythmic variation, new drums. Yeah, let them gamble it away. Look, the reason why we allow the viewers to gamble their points away is so that they can learn the lesson. You can't escape gambling in this world anymore. It's up to you to not engage in it. And if you engage in it, you will lose it all. Simple as. Moving through the different variations, and off the ramp we go. Off the ramp being a colloquial term that I use. Colloquial, by that I mean there's no official academic definition for this, or at least I'm choosing not to use it for the sake of simplicity. And off the ramp is what I call a particular type of transition, makes your listener feel suspended up in the air at the mercy of inertia, waiting to see where you land. Kind of like going off a ramp. How do you do this? Remove the drums, maybe the bass as well, as we are doing over here. We bring it back to the initial music box, plus the accordion. Let's see where this goes. Because of agency? I know, Nosh, I know. Girl bossing nonsense, yeah. Lovely with the accordion. Bringing back that same build-up we had before. With a new variation. Oh, we have both music boxes this time. And completing the melody with that. Bringing back what we did earlier with that lovely 6/8. 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3. Oh, it's so good. And basically we are just changing the different ways of counting 6/8 for the melody, because we are going from doing basically groups of threes, right? Like we're counting 3, 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3. Then we're doing groups of 2, 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 3 1 2 1 2 3. And then we're doing other variations of that, still doing the same motif. This is basically a recapitulation, a partial recapitulation of what we did before. Recapitulation of what we did before, and we are continuing with that. Let's see how it ends. So we got about not that much time left. Let's see where it goes. A little bit of syncopation there, very nice. Playing with the rhythm and bringing back the original with the drums, with the accordion. Outro territory, absolutely. Having that accordion going on, and we end it with a half cadence. So, we'll check all the requested songs, or a few of them. We check a few of them. We pick them at random. We do 5 a day. After this is Bribe Q, I'll explain a bit more. So, we finish with a half cadence. So when you're making music, you're doing one of two things. You are building tension, or you're resolving that tension, creating expectation and meeting that expectation. That point in between, we call the cadence. And cadence resolution, right? So the cadence is basically usually something you do in your chords or your melody, creating that expectation and then resolving onto it. That kind of thing. Then there is what we just did, which is called the half cadence. A half cadence is when you build that tension and you intentionally do not resolve it on that given section. So what this does is that it gives you the momentum, the inertia to resolve this on the following section, on the following track. In this case, it's probably going to be in like part 2, so that it can go, or so that you can loop back to the start. So we do that with this, and you do your song number. We reset the list every round. We reset the list every round. So yeah, that's you don't have a song number right now. And with that, there you have it. That was Sommarfågel by Wintergatan, featured in the different games that we mentioned earlier, including Adofai and a Roblox game, Adventure Forward 2, thank you, the Roblox game is my understanding, and a few others. Once again, everybody, this has been a Basterd's LFA, a layman-friendly analysis. I'm a professionally trained musician, composer, and my objective here has been to explain things in a way so that you don't have to be one to understand what's happened here, musically. So, if you're watching this on the YouTube video archive thing, thank you for watching. Make sure you're following the channel, subscribe to the channel, whatever you use, like, share the video, comment, turn on notifications, become a member. Once again, everybody, don't forget to join the Discord server. That's where everything gets announced first, whether it's the streams going live, the videos going up the channels, updates, projects, giveaways, everything gets announced there first. Of course, we have the community there. We hang out, we chat, we steal memes from other people, servers claim them as our own, and where I host the Vintage Story community server. It used to be a Minecraft mod, now it's its own standalone game. I love it, I prefer it. I'm not sponsored by them or anything, I just really love the game. to the point that I built a PC just to host our community server for it, which is available to join via the Discord community. So linked in the description, join our Discord community today, linked in the description. Also share these videos with everybody that you know. Use the hype function on YouTube. We have a group on the Discord that coordinates for that, so linked in the description to help the channel grow. Members get early access to the content. I schedule the videos for the week on Saturdays, and if you're a paid member on YouTube, regardless of your tier, you get access to the videos when I schedule them, at least for the LFAs, so become a member today. If you want to listen to this without me interrupting every 3.5 seconds, I'll be linking in the description down below. If you want to request a song and you're not on the live stream, check the pinned comment on this video. It has the instructions on what to do. If you want to catch the streams when they happen live, we aim for Monday through Friday, 6 p.m. Central European Time. We stream live on Twitch, YouTube, and Kick so that you can tune in from whichever platform you prefer. Again, 6 p.m. Central Europe. If you're not in Europe, do not worry. We have the full up-to-date streaming schedule showing in your local time zone in both Discord and Twitch, both linked in the description. So if you live in La Tirana, the tyrant, and you're like, yeah, but what time is 6 p.m. in Hungary? I don't live there. Do not worry. Just go to Discord or Twitch, both are linked in the description, and they're both going to show the streaming schedule in your local time zone, accounting for daylight savings even. And follow the gaming channel, subscribe to the gaming channel, because of course I have a gaming channel. I'm on YouTube. What else could I possibly have? Games are Basterd. This is where I put the gaming after show recordings when they happen. We play video games on the second half of the stream, more or less, and then the VODs of which end up over here. Lately, we've been playing through Limbus Company. It's such a fun time. I'm doing the best, worst voice acting you've never heard. And yeah, in general, every game that we play on stream eventually ends up over here. So, subscribe to the channel, linked in the description, or search on YouTube. Same username as James R. Basterd. Just sub the J for a G, and you got it. And, yeah. There you have it. Sommarfågel by Wintergatan, Roblox thing, the adventure forward Adofai. Good stuff, man. That was beautiful. As usual by Wintergatan. Is such a good artist. Really good stuff, man. Really good stuff. But yeah, let's move on.